Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Habitual. I hope you are all having a wonderful, beautiful, magical, amazing, whimsical, joyous day because I know I am. It's kind of crazy. It's been a minute since I've done a solo episode because I didn't record last week since we had part 2 of being in the goo. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird, I guess, getting back into it, but it's not going to stop us. So today we'll start off with some daily delights. My biggest daily delight, and I feel like I say it every episode, but truly has just been the sunshine. It has been absolutely beautiful coming into the beginning of spring. I am so deeply grateful for every chance to soak up the sunshine and enjoy beautiful weather and to spend more time outside subsequently. So I've definitely been just delighting in the sunshine and beautiful weather that we've been having. It's really a great reminder that it really is that simple. There are so many simple and easy ways to find joy and things to be grateful about and things that you can find that just put you into a state of gratitude. When it's sunny every single day, or most days, and you just want to be outside, I feel like that is really all it takes, at least for me. And I've just been really reflecting on the fact that it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to have a good day. I got to spend a wonderful weekend with my family and with Jacob's family, and it just filled my cup so much. And being able to nourish the relationships that mean the most to me in my life is always a reason to be delighted. So I'm extra grateful for the opportunity to be able to spend time with everyone that I love and everyone that I consider family, especially in the span of one weekend. So definitely riding on that high and letting this past weekend just provide the good vibes and good mindset that I want to really just continue to hold throughout the rest of the week and let it uplift me and energize me through the week ahead. Another daily delight is I've been spending so much time at the ocean because of the nice weather. So that's just another daily, weekly, monthly delight of mine. That being said, we'll just get into it. I had previously mentioned I have been spending a lot of time reflecting on the fact that it really doesn't take much to have a good day. And I heard this quote. I feel like I've mentioned a quote in every single one of my episodes, but they just stick and they help me reframe things or thoughts that I've already had. And I just really enjoy that. And this one specifically is, you let your bad days affect you too much. You don't let your good days affect you enough. Fix that. I felt when I read that, I just felt like it so succinctly articulated how my mindset has shifted from having hard days all the time to being in a place where I do feel good most of the time. And I feel like it really can be boiled down to something like that. Just when you let your bad days affect you too much and you don't let your good days affect you enough, it just creates a natural disparity and gap in your perception of your life, honestly. But also just in terms of like, it's confirmation bias. It's what you look for is what you see. And when you have a bad day, which it happens to everyone has bad days. That's just part of being human. That is so normal. And that's just the average human experience, is to have bad days sometimes, not all the time, but definitely sometimes. And you go through periods of time where sometimes they happen a little bit more frequently. And that's just the natural waves and ebbs and flows of human life, right? But when you give your bad days so much power, it's so much easier to fall prey to the easy victimization trap or self-pity trap, because a lot of those lower level emotions are just easier to feel and easier to feed, and especially when you give them power. And I feel like I really went from having bad days and letting them define my week or letting them define my month. And I allowed it to change my perception and to alter my confirmation bias because I was so caught up in oh, well, this bad thing happened to me today, which means that like today is just a bad day, or something bad happened to me yesterday and then it also happened to me today. So it must just be a bad week. And when you think like that, then yeah, you're going to go through the rest of the day or the rest of the week or however long looking for things to confirm that. Every little thing, every roadblock, every challenge, every minor inconvenience is now going to be filtered through your brain as just confirming that it's a bad day or it's a bad week. And it gets easy. It's just easy to be like, oh, well, I guess this is just it and I'm accepting it. And sometimes, yes, big life events, grief, these things, like I'm not discounting that. And I agree that those hold a lot more power over our day-to-day lives. But I'm just saying, in the average experience, it's not helpful, but it's easier to do that than say, have a bad morning and then try consciously everything in your power to flip it around into a good day. It's harder to do that. It is. It's so much harder to do that than to just sit there and be like, yeah, well, you know what? I'll try again tomorrow, which sometimes is what we need. Sometimes you just need to give yourself that and you need to sleep on it, and that's completely fine. But also sometimes it's not a bad day and it doesn't have to be. And I feel like when you give bad days power and affecting you and throwing you off your routine or throwing you off what feels like is in alignment for you, that's the bigger issue. And the other part of the quote, you don't let your good days affect you enough. Everyone can remember like, oh, like that one, like last week, I just had the worst day. But what about every other day? It might have been average, but it can still be a good day. And so this quote also, when I was like marinating with it, letting it marinate in my brain and really just thinking about it, I then came to the conclusion while I was on my run today that the key, like the secret sauce, the secret formula that worked for me at least, was to lower the bar on what makes a day good. That's it. Lower the bar on what makes a day good. Because yeah, you can have a great day and it can be filled with all of your favorite things and all of your favorite people and you feel great. And that's so awesome. And yes, those are still out there and are going to keep happening. But if you just wait for like a super amazing day to say that you had a good day, you are missing out on every other average day that you can, with your using your brain and your perception and just trying and putting in that effort, you can make those days good days and you can give them the power to affect you more by doing that. So what I mean by that, at least in my perspective, and I think that I've tried to encapsulate this with daily delights, but when you lower the bar for what makes a day good, then like pretty much every fucking day is good. And then you're just having good days all the time. And I think gratitude is a huge, if not like the biggest component to this whole equation. Because once you start practicing gratitude and giving thanks for things, it gets so addicting and easy to just continue to find good things and to find things to be grateful for. And when you find things to be grateful for, yeah, even the most average day, literally nothing could have happened. But if you end the day with gratitude for even just, I'm so grateful that I'm alive. Like, I'm so grateful that I woke up this morning and that I got to live another day. And I'm so grateful that the sun is shining. Or I'm so grateful that I got to nourish my body with food, the food that I ate today. Or I'm so grateful that I got to have time in my day for movement and to exercise and to move and feel and be in my body. And that's what I mean by like lowering the bar. It doesn't have to be this grandiose once in a few months. You just have to lower the bar for a good day, for what makes a good day, what you consider a good day. And practicing gratitude really, really, really helped me change this mindset so that it's something that I don't even actually actively think about. It's just like rewired that part of my brain, to be honest. But what I did start to do that was like led me on this path was, and I know you're going to be like, oh my God, we've heard this 1,000 times from 1,000 different people, but a gratitude practice every day. Wake up, write 3 things that you're grateful for. It does not have to be in a journal. That is not like, it does not have to be this whole thing. You can make it so accessible and easy to do. For the most part, I was just waking up, and when I'm turning my alarm off and like checking the weather for the day, I would just open up my notes app and write 3 things that I was grateful for. If you really want to dive deep into this and like really get into it, then you also do it at night and you reflect on your day and you think about 3 things that you're grateful for that happened today. And even if maybe like a bad thing happened or like a negative, you had a not so fun experience, I guarantee you can find at least 3 things to be grateful for, no matter what happens in your day. And I actually stand by that in the most extreme sense. I genuinely think that no matter what happens in your day, you can find at least 3 things to be grateful for. And that is how you start the shift. And that is how you can let your good days affect you more and give them the power to affect you the most, more than your bad days even. And I know it sounds so cliche to be like, oh, just like write down what you're grateful for. Like, I get it. I understand. And I thought that for forever too. Also, it's one of those things where once, like when you start it, it's not going to change that much. It really isn't. It's not like this like quick fix or this instant dopamine hit or anything like that. That's like going to make you want to keep doing it. It's just day by day chipping away at your perspective and integrating intentionally gratitude into your life and into your brain chemistry and into your perception. And then once you do it for like, I don't know, every day for like a month, say, it starts to become a habit. And it starts to become a habit to, yes, write those things down, but it also becomes a habit to see them and to recognize. And you end up building this like time capsule-esque like record of all of these reasons that that day was good or that you had a good day. And it confirms to your brain that there are always going to be things to be grateful for and things that are good about every single day. And sometimes, like I mentioned, sometimes it really is and will only be just like, I'm grateful that I woke up today. I'm grateful for my health. Sometimes it's not going to be that. Sometimes it's even, sometimes it's also even, I'm grateful for the bad thing that happened to me today because it changed my perspective. It challenged me to continue my day with a grateful mindset instead of succumbing to the self-pity and the negative outlook that is so easy to get wrapped up in. Another thing that I think, and this is off topic, but I'm sure you guys have heard about, oh my God, I hate that like everything is like a theory these days because they're not actually, it pisses me off. I can't, it's just so clickbaity and gross and it just is annoying me. So I'm not even going to call it that. But just the idea that like burning your toast and having to make a new piece of toast in the morning, like that 5 minutes could have saved you from potentially being in like a fatal car accident or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you can start to also reframe the negative things in your day to be something positive and to be a reason, like you don't know, you have no idea, like this redirection or sitting in traffic or whatever it is that's like an inconvenience you don't have to let it affect you. It could be something that like you're just conditioned to think of as an annoying thing or a sign of like a bad day or something that you want to complain or vent about, when in this like process of trying to have a more grateful mindset, trying to have a gratitude attitude, as they say, you realize that you are the one in control of giving these external things power. And you are also in control of taking away that power. And that's also a huge, huge lesson and thing that changed my life, because I used to be that person that was road raging because of traffic or because of a slow driver, or like there's 1,000 different reasons. And I used to think that like, oh my God, or like this person that cut me off in the parking lot. And then I would think about it and like want to rant about it. And I would give it the power to change not only my current state and my emotional state, but also my future state for the rest of the day, which like, you don't have to do that. And it is a learned behavior. And sometimes it's also just something that's unexpressed coming up and giving you a reason to maybe feel it. You just take it and run with it, which, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes the world is angering, and that person that cut you off, yeah, you do want to take it out on them. And that's also fine, sometimes I think. But I think like if it's getting to the point where those minor inconveniences genuinely are changing how you view your day and how you go about the rest of your day, I just personally have had such an amazing experience in putting in time and effort and intention to decondition that out of myself. And I think that it plays a huge role in how I move through the world today and how I view my days and how I view the things that happen in my days and how I carry myself through life. And I think it's a huge contributor to my overall well-being. And, sometimes, yeah, like you do need to rage, and that's fine. And you just have to find good outlets for that. It doesn't have to be as big as your brain wants to make it, or as you as like the past you would make it. And that's so freaking cool that you can just change like our brains. I'm not a scientist. I don't know these things, but like neuroplasticity, man, like our brains are literally formed and created to withstand consistent and constant change. Like we can rewire our brains. That's just part of being human. I mean, I think that's fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Even to know that like a habit really only takes like 30 days to do. If you just have like 30 days, I actually don't know if it's 30 days, but I feel like it is. I'm going to look it up. I don't want to spread false information. So I was lying. 66 days. Like 66 days to form a new habit. But when you think about that in the sense of like, okay, if I just like take time every day for the next 2 months to do this thing, then it is something that I won't even have to try to do or think to do really for the rest of my life, potentially, if you stick with it, which is so cool. We always have the option to optimize and customize our experiences through the thing up here, through our pretty little brains, which I just think is so cool. Practicing gratitude, and I don't care, honestly, I don't care if you think that that sounds like so woo-woo or whatever, because it's not. It's an emotion. Gratitude is an emotion. It's an emotional state. And there are so many studies, like dozens and dozens. I want to say hundreds, but I'm not also going to lie about that because I don't know the answer. But I know for a fact there's at least dozens and dozens of studies that talk about the importance of gratitude and how it rewires our brain and how it not only just changes your brain, but it changes your life. It has gratitude has a direct correlation to your happiness, long-term happiness. And to your overall well-being. And people who practice gratitude across the board report higher levels of both of those things due to gratitude. That's not a coincidence. It's scientifically proven. So take that as you will. But I'm just saying it's backed up by science. So taking the time out of your day to practice gratitude, like writing 3 things, that's great. That's awesome. But the real thing that I would say that it's changed my life the most is when these inconveniences or irritants or whatever you want to call them, whenever they present themselves to you in your day, it's like you can like recognize what comes up, feel it, feel like someone is driving 15 miles under the speed limit in front of you and you're in a rush to get to work, and you can feel the frustration and then purposely put yourself into a state of gratitude. Just as you're driving, be like, oh my fucking God, this person is so slow. I'm going to lose my mind. And you want to get angry and you want to just keep feeling that. This is the hardest part, but it's also the most rewarding. That's when I try my hardest to take a deep breath, take a step back, and just be like, you know what? I'm grateful for, like, for me, when I'm in this situation, I'm grateful that my job is not going to get mad at me for being late. They will be understanding. And I am grateful that I have people that will be understanding when I am late for something due to things that are out of my control. Oh my God, that's another thing. Recognizing what's in your control and what's not. Because, okay, side tangent. If you're upset about something that's outside of your control, it's outside of your control. And if you recognize that and like name it, like, oh, this is so annoying, but there's literally nothing I can do about it, then it's so much easier to release that and to redirect yourself onto a path or mindset of feeling better. But when it is in your control, that's a completely different thing. And usually for me, what I do is I think of all the ways that I like make a little mental list of like, okay, trying to think of an example. Oh, okay. Well, like same type of example. I am frustrated that I'm going to be late for work because I left my house late because I didn't wake up early enough. See, now it's out of my control, but it was my control. And so then when I feel it, I recognize it, I name it. I tell myself, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I get up when my first alarm goes off because I'm going to remember this feeling and it sucks and I don't want to feel this again. And it's in my control to not be in this situation again because my actions, my decisions are what put me here. I feel like I'm kind of talking about 1,000 different things, but also they're all related in my brain. So I hope that you're able to follow along. But recognizing what's in your control and what's not. And when it's not in your control, like I don't know about you. I don't like being angry. I don't like being angry. I don't like being irritated. I don't like being annoyed. I don't like being irritated, annoyed, or angry. Personally, I don't enjoy those feelings. So when those things arise in my day where that emotion is elicited, then this is also, I am not saying that this is easy. Like, I have been working on this for years. And I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I'm like, this is something that I'm not consciously thinking of. But it's easier and easier and easier the more I do it. I mean, that says something. And also, not only is it easier, but it genuinely does. It changed my day. It changes my day. It changes my day around. It changes my mood. Realizing that like you are in control of your mood for the most part, like non-hormonally, which like, you know, the girls that get it. Okay. But realizing that you are in control of your mood and your emotional state and you get to choose how things affect you is like, I know it, obviously it's easier said than done, but if you are committed to maximizing your joy and increasing your overall well-being, this is such a wonderful place to start. Making gratitude a habit, recognizing when things are in your control or when they aren't in your control, and recognizing if something's not in your control, then it doesn't have to affect you. And you can just choose, you can actively make a choice in that moment to no longer feel that way. And again, it's not as simple as just deciding not to feel that way. It takes work. It takes intention. It takes effort. And in my experience, the number one thing that helps me change my mood and to move away from that irritation or annoyance or anger is gratitude, right? You're sitting there, you're feeling one of those things, and how do you change it? I mean, there's a lot of ways. It can be blasting music that you love that makes you happy. It can be calling someone that you love and talking to them. But for me, what really helps is just practicing gratitude. I recognize, I name, I stop, and then I think, okay, what can I be grateful for in this moment? And sometimes it takes a minute to find something. Okay? Not gonna lie to you, but I always can. And sitting and feeling that gratitude for whatever it is usually also leads to like a chain reaction of, and then there's also this, and there's also this, and then you can, and actively being like, you know what, I'm going to continue to look for the good in my day. And also, now that I'm talking about this, a huge thing, I love Abraham Hicks. If you've heard of Abraham, that's awesome. If not, there's too much to go into right now, but I will link in the show notes of this episode the morning, I think it's called like a morning rampage. It's like 10 minutes. I would listen to this every single day. And it's basically just saying, like, I know that things aren't always going to go my way today. I know that there are going to be things that are out of my control, but I also know that it's in my control to choose to be, I think it's referred to as like your highest frequency, but it's true. And you get to choose and make that choice, that active choice to continue forward at the way that you want to and in the state that you want to be. And it takes work and it takes a lot, but eventually it can become a habit. And also eventually then those things just stop kind of annoying you or stop irritating you or angering you. And that subsequently leads to having better days, thinking of your days as good days, even when they're just average days, and giving the good days the power that they deserve. And it all comes back to lowering the bar on what you consider a good day, because every day has the potential to be good. And just because you wake up, I know a lot of people talk about, oh, like I woke up and I spilt my coffee. Like first thing, it's going to be a terrible day. You're literally the one making that choice. Like you are the only person who decided that that's going to be that way for you. And that doesn't have to continue. It's probably just learned behavior or oh, I'm taking it as a sign it's going to be a bad day. It doesn't have to be. You can literally just choose for it not to be. You can choose that you're not going to let it change the rest of your day. It's such a worthwhile effort to put in, and you will see the benefits in all areas of your life. I have, and it's really just something that this quote obviously reminded me of, and I've just been reflecting a lot on, and I just really wanted to share that with you all this week. So, that being said, I hope you share your daily delights and maybe you give Abraham Hicks's morning rampage a listen, and maybe you love it and maybe you don't, and that's okay. But the power of gratitude is truly infinite and it can change your life. Here is to giving the good days the power that they deserve. All right, that's all for this week. I love you.